Hi, I'm Sandy from Oh My Crafts, and today's 12 Days of Christmas project are our cute little holiday candy gift wraps. We've got Santa and his elf. Now we're going to get started. This is a sheet of 12 by 11 inch red cardstock. I just trimmed 1 inch off the side. This is a template that I made specially to fit the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. We're going to start with our pattern side down on the paper on the scoreboard, and we're also going to begin with the 12-inch dimension going across. And we're going to make several scores. The first one is at 1/2 inch. The next one is at 5 inches. And if you don't have a Martha Stewart scoring board, I would really recommend getting one, especially when you're doing things with multiple cuts, because it makes it so easy. The next cut is 6 1/4 inches, and then the next one is at 10 3/4 inches. Then the next thing we're going to do is take our paper and turn it 1/4 inch, 1/4 turn, excuse me. And so now we'll have the 12 inches going this way and 11 inches going across. And we're going to go ahead and score at 1 1/4 inches. And then we're going to go over here and score at 9 3/4 inches. The next thing we're going to do, I know it's a little tough to see on the camera, but we're going to trim out this little tab. This is going to be where we actually seal the box together. I'm just going to cut right on the score line, and I'll do that on the top and the bottom. And what this does is this makes our little tab that we will glue the box together with. This is what we are at this point. The next thing we're going to do is trim on our score lines here. What we're going to do is we're going to trim out a little triangle here around our lines, so that when we fold the box together, the flap doesn't touch the other edges. So we're just going to take a really tiny little triangle on either side of that score line and cut right down to it. So it takes out just a little bit, just like that. We want our closing tab on the left-hand side. The reason for this is we're going to go ahead, I cut a strip of vinyl for Santa's belt. It's 12 inches long and 1 inch wide. So we're taking our liner off the back of our vinyl piece, just like that, all the way across. Now, I'm not going to put this quite in the center because nobody's belt ever goes right in the center. So we're just going to kind of eyeball it. But you do want to try to get your edges lined up as close as possible. And then just smooth out our belt. So there's Santa's belt. Then I took another strip of vinyl. This is 1 inch by, we're just going to kind of play with it here. About like so. And then you can just go ahead and trim it off, because the top part doesn't need to go all the way to the top because our collar will be there. And so we're just going to kind of line that up just like that. So now that we have the belt and the white furs there, we're going to go ahead and run some adhesive down the side of this strip. Go ahead and flip this over. Put in our candy. Now that we've assembled our box, we're going to go ahead and make Santa's belt. I used the Eclipse cartridge Holidays, and I went to the St. Patrick's Day to find a buckle, and there was a buckle on a hat. So what I did is I went ahead and I cut it out, and I took my knife and I trimmed around here and weeded out that part of it. Then I'm going to take my little hook here, and I'm going to lift up the center and take that right out of there, and you'll see the belt emerge. Okay, now that we've weeded around and picked out the center of our buckle, we're ready to use transfer tape. I'm just going to go ahead, I trimmed this piece to be about the size of my buckle. Just place it right over the top, And take my little squeegee here and burnish it. All this is doing is helping the top of the vinyl stick to the buckle. And then I'm just going to lift up this edge right here. And it should start to lift. If it's having trouble, you can just go ahead and help it out, just like that. And now we have our Santa buckle all ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And there is our little buckle. Next, we're going to create the collar. This is the trickiest part of the whole project. I'm using a strip of white cardstock that's about 1 3/4 inches. And I'm just going to kind of hold it over this Santa just like this. And I'm going to press down on one side and then on the other end, kind of pinch it there. So I kind of see where I need that to be. And then what I'll do is take my scissors and trim that out. Just like that. And now it looks kind of like an awkward size. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of lay this back down here, kind of eyeball it a little bit, and then take my scissors and trim it off a little bit. And once you've created your collar like that, you can take the rest of your strip of paper and line up the rest of the collar and just trace around it so that both of your collars are identical. Next, we're ready to do the scroll work on Santa's collar, and just kind of picture doing an S. And then just add a few little dots around on the side if you'd like. And then the trickier part is trying to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now that we've drawn our scroll work and adhered our collar, we just kind of matched up the corners and put it in there. I'm going to take a couple of these little holly repeats from EK Success and put them on there. Okay, our Santa's complete. If you want, you can go ahead and add a tag and you're all set.